For as long as people have been having kids, we have been debating whether parents really have a favorite child. Now science has given us an answer. Yes, your parents probably do have a favorite.
What? Dr. Cheryl Ziegler is here to talk all about these findings. Okay, so before we dive into it, who is more likely to be the favorite?
Drum roll, the eldest daughter. Daughter.
We kind of guessed it. So it has to be a daughter, though, not just the firstborn?
Yes, it's like the eldest daughter for very specific reasons.
Oh, do
Yes.
tell. What are the
Yeah.
reasons?
So eldest daughters tend to be the most conscientious. They are more responsible, or at least that's the perception of the parent. So those are traits, very interestingly, actually we know this for decades, that people are very drawn to, like specifically responsibility and conscientiousness, right? So someone who's just like, you can count on them, you know they've got it, you trust them. And so eldest daughters tend to have those qualities, and then so therefore they get more freedom, they get more responsibilities put onto them. Parents actually spend more time and more money on eldest daughters.
Wow.
And so there's really a lot of perks of being the oldest daughter.
This is all tracking for me.
It
We
is.
both have
Yes.
eldest daughters.
Yes,
So
it's
do
all
I.
tracking.
You do
So
as
do I.
well. Does
Yeah.
this resonate with you as well then?
Yes, there's something special for me about having a daughter. And like we were kind of talking about, just the child that made you a mother sometimes just feels so special.
It's huge.
Yes, but let me make it clear. This is usually unconscious. Like, people don't know. They're not walking around holding the secret. And right now I know there's people laughing going, I always told my parents I knew it. But they don't really know it per se. It's just that we're drawn to those kind of qualities as human beings, and so therefore it kind of plays out. But those little younger siblings, if there's younger siblings, they usually pick up on those subtleties because that's what kids do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, gotta be careful with
know.
that. But is that how the traits go too? Because then they say like the second or the youngest is kind of like the wild child, maybe less responsible, less conscientious, and just kind of like,
Yes,
that's how
I
mine
think
is anyway.
I think all of these stereotypes really exist for a reason. And there really is a lot of truth to birth order. So yes, the birth order myths are sort of like, you know, the first is usually very responsible. The second one is, if there's three, the second one is one that can get lost in the shuffle and in the mix. And then the third one and on are kind of the babies. And so they're treated as such, you know. And when you have a baby for longer than the actual years that you're supposed to have a baby, that is more tiring on a parent. So you don't realize it, once again, like, maybe I'm treating my baby, right? I have a third, so I treat him like a baby. Well, maybe that is exhausting on me because I should be done with the baby stage. So there's, you know, there's some truth to that part, but I think parents want to sort of pay some attention to this because other siblings, younger siblings, have been studied. And when they perceive that their parent has a favorite, there tends to be more conflict within the siblings. They tend to have lower self-esteem and more mental health issues. So we want to pay attention, and parents just want to do things like spend more time, you know, with the other kids, or just make sure you're spending mindful time with the others, and, you know, praising them appropriately, you know, all those kinds of things. Because if we just kind of go through our lives and our days and not thinking so much about it, you might be leaning on the first a lot more, and then the second one, the third, and on might just feel like maybe sometimes a little bit of a burden, or they're more frustrating because they are just simply younger and maybe less sort of responsible.
Right. So the final takeaway, we have about 30 seconds, is it, one, you got to be aware as a parent, right? And then what else? And I know you just suggested some things, but would you say overall how to like mitigate that? I don't want any children to feel like that they're less than or be affected by this. So final takeaway.
Final takeaway is overtly find what's special about each one of your kids, because they are all so different, and realize that we do need to parent our children differently, and maybe we need to also even just like look with them and interact with them differently. Like just the way we can have a group of best friends and you love them all, but you've got different special relationships with each of them. Really think about parenting that way. It's not one size fits all.
It's such interesting information. Thank you, Dr. Ziegler. That was awesome.
You're welcome.